My name is Tonya, and I'm here for Andrea today. This is an all levels comeback yoga class. Comeback Yoga is a nonprofit organization, and we are based out of Denver, Colorado. We serve active duty military veterans and your support team. So I'm glad that you're here. Whether you're watching live or whether you are watching the recording, I welcome each and every one of you. This is a 45-minute all levels class. I'll be showing some variations of some postures that you might adjust to your body or your current needs. Know that each time you show up to the mat to do the yoga, each time is going to be a little bit different. What you tried yesterday and maybe didn't experience that aha, you might experience that aha, that feels good today, but tomorrow it might not. So on that note, use your breath to regulate your senses, your sensations, and we never want to work to a point of course, hurting or injuring ourselves. Certainly want a challenge, but maybe today's you don't want a challenge. So just stay with that. Use your breath to be your guide and to adjust as needed. All right. So 45 minutes today. We'll be spending doing some seated work, some warm up, and then we'll do some standing work, and then back down onto the ground for some stretching and some meditation. All right. So if you just get familiar with your own surroundings, make sure that you feel secure and kind of get familiar with my surroundings. I'll be referring to this side of the room here as the big window, and then this side is the big plants. Okay, so those are kind of the two differences there. So without further ado, unless you have any questions, we'll go ahead and get started. Let's come down onto our back. And go ahead and draw those knees, one or both, into the chest. And just noticing maybe a deeper breath, drawing in and down and up and out. So allowing now both knees to come to chest. And as you breathe in, feel some resistance, sort of activating the abdominal breath, the diaphragm, as you bring those knees in a little closer and closer. A couple more times, just allowing a full breath, expanding your breath, your abdomen as you breathe in, and then a slight compression as you breathe out. Let's do 2 more times. Good. All right, taking those feet down a little bit wider than the hips. Take your arms out wide. And just start to flex your wrists, fingers towards the elbows. And just kind of like you're tossing a ball side to side, one hand to the other. And then find stillness in those wrists. Maybe rub the fingertips together. Take a big breath in and let it out. And with your next in-breath, move your knees slowly to the left, or any side really, and come back to center and lower them to the other side. Moving side to side. You can go as slow or as fast as you like. And then coming back to center. Bring your feet in a little closer to the middle and bring your arms down to your sides. palms face down, touching the surface beneath you, noticing the texture, feeling the coolness or the warmth of it. Now, pressing down into one foot, bring your other knee into your chest and push down enough that your hips lift a little bit and then lower down. Lower that foot down, press down into that foot, and lift your knee and your hips. Lower down and switch. If you get a hamstring Charlie, lift or activate your glutes first before you lift the hips. So it's a conscious act of lifting, of activating, and then lowering down. Let's do one more on each side. Good. And then bring both knees into your chest again. Now taking your arms and legs into a what we call a five-pointed star position. Noticing your one arm and press down lightly into that arm into the floor, pressing that arm downward. Other arm, press it downward. Just a little bit, not 100% or even 110%. Give it about 20 to 30%, not even half really. So press down, left, down, and release, alternating side to side. Now press both arms at the same time down and then release. Press down and release. Press down and release. All right, now we're going to change it up here. So notice one foot. I'm going to say, oh, my foot that's closest to the wall. I'm going to bring my attention to that one first. And then I'm going to press down into the opposite arm. So press down into foot and opposite arm. And then release. Press down other side and release. Alternating side to side. And last one. Good. And then bring your knees in. Grab one hand, bring it under your armpit, and the other hand comes across to the shoulder. Slowing that breath down, squeeze slightly inward and maybe even downward. And switch, changing. So the other hand comes under the armpit and the other arm under on the shoulder. Press in and down. And then release. Good. Stay here for just a moment. And now take both legs up into the air, both arms up as well. Circle ankles and wrists. And go the other way. Good. And then bring knees into chest and either roll to your side or pull yourself up to a seated position. Crossing your ankles, we'll move through what we call cat-cow. So leaning back and pulling yourself through. Leaning back. So feeling some movement come in your spine. And then pause. Just take a look at the wall right in front of you. Get your bearings. All right, we're going to press ourselves up into a forward fold. So your feet can come about hip distance, maybe a little closer, and bend your knees. And if it's comfortable, just let your head just loosen, nod it, turn it side to side. and then find stillness. We'll look forward. And then pressing onto your lap, slowly rise up to stand. Taking a moment, get your bearings. All right, and we'll bring our feet about hip distance apart and just facing the screen or the camera. And we'll bring one hand on one shoulder or the forearm, and the other hand comes across. So bending your knees slightly, just start to kind of lean to the side and then back upright, and then slowly to the other side. And maybe coming forward, gaze is straight forward, fixing your eyes on one point, and to the side and back. Just fixing one point that's still, and forward and to the side. Let's switch directions, fixing your gaze. One more time. Good. Releasing those arms down to your sides. You can have your palms forward, just stand at ease. And with your next inhale, with the palms still facing away from you, lift your arms forward and up. On your exhale, lower your arms down. Again, inhale, arms lift. And exhale, arms down. Let's go again. Inhale last time. And arms down. Good. And then pause for just a moment. Take your legs out a little wider than the hips. Kind of heel toe the feet out. Going out as wide as comfortable and feels stable for you. Now turn both of your heels in and your toes out. Hands rest on your thighs. And start to bend the knees slowly. Come down nice and easy to about halfway, or a good stopping point where you don't feel any pain on the knees. So you might be up here, you might be lower, but really think about activating the big muscles of those legs. Now start to glide to one side, maybe towards the big wall, big window, and then to the plants. And back. And we want to think about track. So think about this knee here, the shin being more vertical. And then we'll go the other side. And side. So just kind of stop if you feel any pain. Other side. Push. Good. And then back to center. Dropping those hips maybe down a little bit deeper. And then bring your forearms right onto those thighs. You might even come down a little bit deeper. Use the strength of your legs. And you might even rest here a moment. And take a couple breaths. Pretty intense. Yeah, if it's too intense, you could stay upright. Otherwise, let's take 3 more breaths here. It's also a good stretch, yeah? All right. Take your hands down to the floor and turn to face the big wall. Lifting up your back heel, so you're in a lunge now. Fingertips to the floor. Look forward. And then lower your back knee down to the floor. Straighten your front leg. If you have knee issues and feels better to pad them, please do so. I actually happen to have extra mat underneath, so I'm actually on 3 mats. And then come forward. So that's the only way I can do this. Come forward to lunge. Press back, hamstrings. Come forward, lunge. This time, we're going to bring that back knee in under the hip. Point your toe back so you're pressing down into the foot. Both arms come up. If it feels unstable, you can walk your foot out a little bit wider. Both arms come up, maybe palms facing one another. And you could also lift your back knee here if you like. If you'd like that challenge, the back knee would lift. Otherwise, you can stay down with me. All right, and then reach forward. Let's add a twist towards your knee and maybe palms together. Good. And then use your hand to assist yourself back up into that crescent lunge. And then take your hands down to the mat for a safe landing. Lift your back knee. Walk your hands around so that your toes are facing the long edge of your mat again. And come forward. And we'll go to the other side. So turning towards my plants, big plants. And again, either staying up on the knee or releasing the knee down. From here, let's press down, come into that crescent lunge. And then hands come down. Straighten your front leg. Come back into lunge. And again, either your knee lifted here or stay down and arms come up. You could be here if you want as well. Hands down, knee down, and straighten your front leg. And this last one, we'll add that twist. So inhale, bringing your arms up. And then reach forward, extend, and twist. You can look down for more stability or look to your fingers for challenge. Use your hand to support and assist as you bring both arms back up into crescent and then take your hands down. And we'll lift the back knee again and walk around for a fold. Toes towards the long edge of your mat again. And you can either have your hands underneath you or hands onto your legs. Now come up onto your fingertips here. And we'll add a twist. So bring one hand. How about the hand that's closest to the plants underneath your face? Push down. And as you turn now towards the big wall, open up that top arm. And take it down. You could also use a block here. I just happen to have one nearby, so I did not cue you to grab a block, but it might be a good helper here. And lift that top arm. All right, and then take it down. Nice work. Bend your knees, hands come onto your lap, and come all the way up. All right, so let's do another standing pose here before we come down onto the ground. So turning your toes towards the big wall here. Open your arms out wide, and let's come into a reverse warrior. So bend your front knee, slowly tracking any pain or sensation in that knee, and then reach your arm up. Exalted warrior. So this warrior actually has a couple different names. So reach up and back. And then come through warrior 2 and straighten your legs. Lower your arms and turn your toes out. Big sweeping arm breath in, come down, and then really reach it up. Find that full length in your sides. That's it. And lower down through warrior two and straighten it out. Nice work. Turning your feet forward again. Forward fold. Coming down to the ground for that twist again. So hands under the shoulders, maybe using a block. Turn towards the big wall. Open up. And take it down. Other side. Open. And down. Good. Let's do our lunge. So walk over this way towards the big wall, big window. And maybe your knee comes down. Maybe not. You can keep it lifted for crescent lunge. Hands come down, knee down, and straighten your leg. Come back into that lunge, back into crescent, and then we'll add the twist, last one on this side. Arms coming up, and then extend forward and turn. Come back through, and hands touch the ground. Walk around to the long edge and turn to the other side. Second side, final side. As you pivot on the feet, and again, maybe your back knee stays lifted this round. Push into both feet. Feel how strong you are there. Arms rise. And then taking the hands down. Back knee comes down, and your front leg goes straight-ish. And come forward. Option to stay here or lift the knee again. Rising up. And then bring it forward and across for your twist. Choosing where you want to gaze. Maybe you're downward or sideward, whatever feels better on your balance. And release. Come back through that crescent. And then hands down to the ground. Very good. All right. Let's bring that front leg around under the hips, coming into a child's pose. So your knees are going wide-ish, toes maybe touching. You could also have a narrow child's pose, or you could even be on your back. So those are a couple of variations, especially if you've got troubled knees. Take your time and maybe coming down a little or a lot. So feeling the effects of the first part of class today. Did you find it fatiguing, energizing? Did you find parts that you didn't know were there that literally have come to life? Take 3 more breaths. Good. And then making your way up. We're going into pigeon now. So it's either your favorite or it's not. So I'll show you a couple of different options. So bring one knee forward, and then you can bend both knees like so and come down maybe like so. So that's one option. Really nice stretch for the hips, but doesn't put so much strain on the knees. The next option is to bring your straight or your back leg straight. Okay, again, you don't want to be causing any pain on the knee. And then the next option would be to actually come onto your back, keeping that bottom leg straight so that you get that same sensation. You still get a stretch for the front of the hip. So those are your three options. So you choose what is the most appropriate for your body right now. Like I said, it's either your favorite or it's not. And we'll hold this for about another 30 seconds. It's one of these poses that sometimes it's difficult to bring people out of because they like it so much. But if it's not a pose you like, you don't even want to go into it. So let's take 3 more breaths here. All right, and if you are upright, like so, and just unwind and just go to the other side, like so. If you're on your back, just switch legs. So just a really simple way to come to the other side. And again, from there, you can send that bottom leg or outside leg straight if you like. So another 45 seconds or so here. So oftentimes we hold tension in our hips, and maybe if we've carried a heavy load, literally, the hips do carry the brunt of it. So whether you've had to carry, a heavy load in basic training or maybe even recently, and those hips really, really do feel it. Great. All right. So wherever you are, unwind and meet me back on your back again. And we'll bring the knees into the chest. And keep one knee into your chest and straighten the bottom leg. And we'll come now into a hamstring stretch. So straighten your leg and hold on to the back of your leg somewhere. Another option is to bend your bottom leg. So, and you can either keep your leg right over the hip, or as long as you're not straining, your leg can come a little closer to your chest. And then bring your knee in and across your torso. And bring your knee back to your chest. And open your knee out to the side. Either bend the knee or straighten it out. If you find your opposite hip comes way up off the ground, just bend that knee and use it as a little anchor. And bend that knee and come back through center. We're going to do another pose today that I haven't done in a while on here. Is going to cross your knees and then draw your knees in towards your chest. So you can either hold on to your shins or your ankles or even your feet. So it's still that same leg on top. All right, unwind, both feet down. And we'll take our other leg up now to the ceiling. So either hands interlaced somewhere along the back of your leg, or some of you might have access to your foot, depending on your arm and leg length ratio. That bottom leg might come down to the floor. That's whatever feels good to you. Sometimes we know if that sensation's too strong. You know, if you're a 110% kind of person, then you probably have possibly, I would say, maybe injured yourself. And give it all you got. But it's time now that we can drop back a little bit and give it a little less. The fact that you've showed up is 100%. All right, bend that knee and take it across your torso. You might even roll all the way onto the outside of the bottom hip. And coming back through center and taking your knee out to the other side. Maybe even straightening your leg out to the side. And bring it back in. Take that knee across, stay there, or lift your feet off the floor and draw your knees into your chest. And release that and straighten out both legs. Point your feet and then flex your feet towards your nose and point your feet away from your nose. And flex and point. Flex and point. And then walk your legs over to the bottom corner of your mat and stretch your torso and arms up to meet them. Well, we don't actually meet them, right? But we're coming into a side bend over to the same side. And you might choose, any arm position that feels okay for your shoulders. Maybe stretching arms overhead or bringing your arm down next to your side. And release, and let's go to the other side. And release. One last time, bring the knees to the chest. Maybe a little side to side movement or forward and back. And then if you are ready, we are ready for our final relaxation meditation. So you could be on your side, you could be on your back, your stomach, sitting, or even standing. And the purpose of the next 8 minutes or so is to sort of balance and harmonize our nervous system. We've put a lot of effort into the practice today, and we've moved, we've found strength, we have stretched, and now we find stillness. So I will be guiding you through a meditation today. So as you have found a place of stillness, maybe your eyes are closed or maybe they're open. And would it be possible to get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more at ease? Is there any part of you that where there's tension, stress? And just send your breath into those areas. And in this meditation, I will be inviting you to explore the inner workings of your body. And certainly, we have all had pain and maybe even currently experiencing pain in our bodies. So I'll ask you to bring your attention to that point in your body where you feel pain. And if you could, sort of describe that pain. Is there a texture? Is there temperature? Is there like a contraction? How would you describe it if you could? If you could put words to it other than pain, what is the quality? And now I invite you to bring your attention to another part of your body that maybe doesn't speak as loudly, maybe that doesn't have or experience as much pain or discomfort. And what does that feel like? How does that area feel? And could you name the experience there? Color, texture, temperature. And now knowing that these two places can exist simultaneously within your body, would it be possible to not only experience them simultaneously, but to not hold on or draw too much attention to one or the other? Is there a common ground or a meeting place for these two feelings? And just stay here, stay completely aware. And how the whole rest of your system responds as a whole unit, complete, in total, as awareness. And while these opposites certainly are within you, there is much more to you. As you become completely aware of these, of just you witnessing, being aware that you are aware. And taking just a few more moments in silence. And begin now to welcome in the sound of my voice, welcoming in the sounds in your surroundings. Welcoming in the sense of touch the surface beneath you, maybe even rubbing your fingers together. Begin to start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, circling your wrists, your ankles. Stretching out nice and long if you're laying down, full body stretch, like you're waking up in the morning. And with the new felt sense of well being, begin to maybe bring your knees to your chest or just roll to your side. And if you are lying down, I would like to finish by sitting up with me. We'll close out our session today, this comeback yoga all levels class. And we can bring the hands together in gesture of gratitude, of respect, and take the head down to the hands just to feel this sense of maybe well being, maybe peace, maybe ease, maybe whatever it is. And just honor that and embrace it. And then when you're ready, lift your gaze and release your hands. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor to guide your practice today. I hope that you continue to be well and continue to keep up your good work. You are much appreciated, much needed in the world, and it's been an honor to guide your practice today. And while we haven't met in person and may not ever meet in person, I wish you wellness, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So if you have the means to donate, there's a link below that you can do so. You could also follow us on all social media platforms. And until next time, take good care.